Ah, Gilmore Girls, a beloved TV show by so many and seen as the epitome of early 2000s nostalgia. Rory Gilmore is always seen with her face in a book and has become an icon of book girlies everywhere. And being a basic book girly myself, I figured why not try to dress and read like her. So here is me reading like Rory Gilmore for a week. Hello fam! This week we are reading like Rory Gilmore from Gilmore Girls, and I'm actually really excited to be doing this challenge because I've actually just started watching Gilmore Girls for the first time a couple of weeks ago. I'm already totally enamored by the show and I just really love how she's just reading all the time. And so there's actually a ton of lists I found on the internet of all the books that she's read or that have been mentioned on the show, and I took a little quiz and I only got 33 of like the 300 books. A lot of the books that she has on there are like classic novels or like Lord of the Rings and Jane Austen and things like that, where like I want to read them but I just haven't gotten around to it. But eventually we'll get to them. But I wanted to try and read all of the books that she's reading and also try to dress like her a little bit because I feel like a lot of the early 2000s style is coming back. This is the photo of her in one of the first episodes of the series, and this is what I tried to recreate. So I tried to get an oversized white sweater. I have on my baggy bootcut jeans. So I went to the library and found a couple of books that were on the list of things. So let's go ahead and let me show you all the books that we picked up for this challenge. Okay, I had to put my hair up because it is getting hot. So here are some of the books I picked up. I've only picked up 3 books so far just because I am only doing this for a week. Let me show you what I've gotten so far. If I need to go get more, I can always go get more, which is awesome because there's literally hundreds and hundreds of books on here. So I won't run out. Okay, so the first book I got was Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I got this, this is from the library, this specific version, but my dad did buy me this book a lot, when I was in like the 3rd grade probably. Also, in my mind, I thought this book was a lot thicker, and this was also in like the children's section, which I guess that makes sense because it is like a fairy tale, but it is definitely like the words are really large and spaced out on here, and there's like pictures in here and stuff. So I think I could honestly get through this one in one day. Like I could finish this today or probably tomorrow. So that is one of the books I picked up. I'm really excited to read this, and I think I am going to start with this one first just because I feel like that's just a cute little, it's a cute little nostalgic book, again because it's something that I remember from my childhood, but also with it being the month of October and dressing up for Halloween and all of that stuff, like I feel like Alice in Wonderland is a good like book just to read because it's something that people dress up for, especially with all the movies that have come out. There's been a ton of movies from Alice in Wonderland, and I've seen a couple of them, so I feel like if anything, people have at least seen the movies or at least know like the story behind it. So I feel like this is nothing groundbreaking or earth-shattering in the terms of like, you guys will probably all know this book. Okay, the next book I picked up was Brave New World. This is by Aldous Huxley. Now, I remember reading this book when I was in high school. It was a required book for one of my classes, or we got to like pick from like a section of books, and I think I picked this one. And so I am going to be rereading it. I don't remember all of it. I remember like the gist of it all. I remember like what it's about, but I'm really excited to go back in and like really like read it again because I really don't think that like my sophomore brain comprehended. In fact, I know that it didn't comprehend a lot of this book because I remember coming back to class and talking about it and being like, whoa, like that literally, like you guys got that from that? I did not get that from that. So anyway, this is a book I'm really excited to read. I'm really excited to reread, I guess, and just kind of, again, see what it's like. It's definitely like a dystopian type of world, and that's kind of a lot of the books that I've been really enjoying lately have been the dystopian societies. So I'm excited to get through this one. And the last book that I picked up is The Shadow of the Wind. This is by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. This is the one book that I have not read before. It does have like a review by Stephen King, so I'm kind of wondering if this is like a thriller or like a mystery book. Let me read the inside real quick. Okay, so I think this might be a little bit more of like a historical fiction piece. It is set in 1945, just after the war, but also maybe a little bit of a mystery from what it sounds like. You guys look at the full review later on in the video once I finish reading this, but I'm really excited to actually start reading this. I might actually read this before I read this one. I thought I would read this one probably second. But this one sounds really interesting. The Shadow of the Wind. I think reading like Rory Gilmore will be a good start into just getting into a good variety of different genres. So we'll go ahead and start reading Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and hopefully get done with this one pretty soon. Okay, so I'm 50 pages into this book already, and this book, I mentioned this earlier, it is super short. It's only 150 pages of like total. So it's a very short book. I will most likely be finishing this today in one day. It's that sort of a book. I have interesting thoughts about this book, to be completely honest. I feel like so far, and I don't mean this to be in any way rude or offensive, I feel like the writing of this book is what it would be like is if you were like on drugs and like had ADD, like so like you were just so scatterbrained. I feel like it's so odd, and you're just it's so fast paced. You're moving from one thing to the next thing to the next thing to the next thing that it's kind of hard to like make sense of what's actually going on in the book. I also think what's interesting about this book, which I remember this being in the book when I had it when I was a girl, the illustrations in here are so weird. Like it kind of reminds me of like a Tim Burton type of thing a little bit. And like some of them are really weird, and also like some of the pictures are like very sweet and cute. It remind me of like the movie or something. Let's see if I can find like a good example. Yeah, like that one's like a little bit cuter where she's, you know, seems a little bit more feminine. So it's just like a little odd, I think, is my like first impressions of it. I remember thinking that it was weird when I was a kid, but I thought that maybe I just didn't understand it. No, it's a little bit of a weird book. I feel like I heard somewhere that he like wrote this when he was on drugs. I could be wrong, but I could see how like if this was written in the 1800s, how it would be like super interesting, because I feel like nothing from that time period is like this. So anyway, those are my thoughts. I will continue to read it and get it finished by the end of today, and then we can move on to the next book. Page 75, I'm about to start the Mad Tea Party. That's where we're at for this book. So we are like basically halfway through, so I'm gonna try to finish it real quick, and yeah. Okay, good morning, you guys. It's the next day. I did finish reading Alice's Adventures in Wonderland last night. I have to say, it's just a weird book. I know I've said that before in this video. It's just weird. I don't really like it. I think I'll give it 3 stars, and I probably won't read this again, honestly. And super chaotic and just doesn't make sense. Like, it's all this weird, it's, you know, a dream. It's all a dream. So that's kind of annoying, but I'm glad that I read it. I think it is a classic, so I had to make sure that I got that done. But I'm actually getting ready to head out to work right now. I'm taking the train this morning, and so I'm bringing with me this book, The Shadow of the Wind, and we'll try to get into this a little bit and kind of just see. And as for my outfit today, I tried to recreate kind of like her Chilton look, Rory Gilmore's Chilton look, which is like a skirt with her blazer and her shirt. So this is, again, just the best. It's the best we could do today, okay? But my hair, I think, looks a little bit better. It looks a little bit more like hers. So anyway, we'll go ahead and jump on the train and start reading. Okay, so I have gotten to work, and I was actually able to get 38 pages into this book. I'm already on chapter 6 of The Shadows of the Wind, or The Shadow of the Wind. And listen, I already have some thoughts. So I think one of my biggest things about this is that when I started reading this, I did not realize that this is actually 486 pages. I did request the audiobook version of this, that way it could maybe help me get through it faster, but I'm on hold for that at the library, so I don't know if I'll actually get it this week. So I also don't know if I'll be able to finish this week, just because it is a big book. I don't know. I'm just worried that I'm gonna get bored by this. I don't think I will right now, at least, because it is keeping my attention. The other book I had, A Brave New World, I did also request that audiobook. That one's only 9 hours long. This audiobook is 18 hours long. I don't know, maybe I was just a slow reader this morning. I also was so tired on the train this morning. I was so tired, so there's that. Anyway, I'll keep you guys updated on this book. Hopefully we can get through a good portion of it today. I do have book club tonight, and I'm going on a date. So I don't really know how much I'll be getting through this book, but we will just try our hardest.
Hello. That was a little weird, I understand, but listen, it's been a weird day, okay? So the next day, it's actually 5:30 p.m., so it's been quite a while, over 24 hours since I last checked in with you guys, but I wanted to update you on the Shadow of the Wind book that I've been reading. I just hit 202 pages into this book, a little under halfway. Like I already said before, this book is so long, like it's so long. However, I will say I am actually really enjoying this. It is taking me a little bit longer to read, and I was kind of trying to figure out why, but I actually was reading the cover here, and this book was originally written in Spanish and then translated into English. I don't know if that is why it's a little bit harder for me just to kind of process and take in. I also think that like the pages are just big and they have tons of words on them, so it's a little bit, there's just a lot of stuff in here. So I don't know if I've actually explained what this book is about yet. It's about a boy who lives in Barcelona, Spain, kind of at the end of their civil war in like the 1940s, 1950s is when this book is taking place. He ends up finding this book at this place called the Cemetery of Lost Books, and he just becomes enamored with the book and with the author, and he tries to find out information about it. Turns out there's been somebody who has been going around and burning and destroying every single copy of this guy's work, and this boy is trying to figure out what is going on and why, and try to save the books for this author who he has no idea who he is or like anything about him. I do wish that I did like speak Spanish or could read Spanish, because I looked at some Goodreads reviews and people were saying that they read the book in Spanish and it was beautiful. The poetry of it was super beautiful, and although it's super good in English, just reading in Spanish is just a little bit better, I guess. I do think I want to kind of take a break from this one for a little bit. It is just a lot, and I do want to get another book in for this video. So I do have A Brave New World, like I mentioned before. It's 230 pages, so it's only this part of the book, and then this part is like the after effect book that he wrote like 40 years later, comparing Brave New World to like the current world. So I'm only going to be reading this part of it. So I don't know, it's so rainy outside that I kind of do want to like continue to read this as much as I can today and get as far as I can in this tonight, and then maybe tomorrow I have to go back into the work, so I will be commuting again, so maybe I'll try to knock this one out tomorrow. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, I just wanted to give you guys an update because I haven't checked in with you guys for a while. Also, let me show you guys my outfit for today, because I actually do think this one looks pretty good. Okay, so here's my inspo pic, and I feel like I was able to copy it pretty well. Just pretty simple day. Black jeans. I got a striped shirt and a jean jacket over top. Obviously, it's not 100% exact, but I did what I could with what I had, and I feel like it looks pretty good. Like, it's not necessarily my total style, but I don't hate it. I think recreating outfits is kind of fun because you don't have to put too much effort and thought into it. You just go with the flow, you know? Okay, hi, it's the next day. Quick outfit check. This is what I've got. It is close-ish to what I was kind of looking for. I wanted to get a red cute top to match this photo, but I could not find one anywhere. So instead I pretty much recreated the bottom. Dark skirt, boots, tights, all that stuff. Anyway, it literally does not matter. So last night I got to 250 pages into this book, The Shadow of the Wind, and I do really like it, but again, I just want to have more videos or more books for this video, so I'm gonna take a break from this one right now and try to get through this one today, hopefully today, maybe tomorrow. Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. I do have to go back to work today into the office, so I'm gonna have a long train ride, so I can take my time reading this one on the train today. So I think that's what we'll do, and then we'll try to finish this one up before the end of the week. So we'll start on this one. Let's go. Got to the train station, and I actually got here way earlier than I thought I was going to, so I'm gonna sit in my car for like 10 minutes and read my book. Skipping the forward. The forward is... We were good together. I would say we had fun, but our trails will never run forever. Something else is on your mind, like everything. Okay, the train is here. I'm actually getting on to go home now. The worst is the pain when you breathe out. Okay, I just finished this book and I'm shocked. Overall, I'm giving this book, I think, 3 stars. Like, I did not love it like I thought I was going to like it. I feel like a lot of the books that I saw on Rory Gilmore's list were books where I probably wouldn't have necessarily picked to read on my own. I think this is a book that's, I don't know if it's considered like a classic, but it's one that people like really talk about as like life-changing for the society or whatever. I just did not agree. I think the first half of the book was really exciting and really fun to read, and then the second half of the book just got into like just tons of dialogue between 2 people talking about life and God and religion and science, which is great. I mean, that's all stuff that I like want to talk about, but I think reading about that was just like, it was boring. It was boring. In fact, I got the audiobook version of this and I actually just like listened to all that because I didn't want to read it because it was just boring. So I would say the second half of the book is boring, and then the ending was not expected, in my opinion. Nothing really comes from the book. Like, it just, you kind of hope that like a big change will happen with this society, and nothing happens. In fact, you know, it's very tragic in the end. So that is my thoughts on this book. Didn't love it. And yeah, that's that. I'm now going to go back into this book, Shadow of the Wind, and we'll try to read this one as fast as we can.
Okay, hi, we are on hopefully the last or second to last day of this challenge. I'm gonna sit down. It is Friday night. It is 6:50 p.m. I do have plans. I'm not that lonely, I promise. But they're not until like 8:39. We're gonna go see some Halloween lights somewhere. So I have like an hour and a half to just sit and read this book. I've also pretty much given up on the outfit situation because I just feel like I did not prepare well enough. Today, just another baggy oversized sweater, baggy oversized pants, got the headband in, so that's the closest we're getting to Rory Gilmore because she wears a lot of baggy oversized sweaters, so I feel like we're doing good there. And the turtleneck also helps, so anyway. You guys, we're done. We're done with the challenge. I finished The Shadow of the Wind last night. I'm gonna give this one 3.5 stars. I think that is the highest rated book out of the other 2 that we read in this Rory Gilmore challenge. It was actually a pretty good book. I mean, for its length, I was pretty thoroughly entertained the entire time. I wasn't ever really super bored. I do just think that it just took a long time for me to get through, which was really frustrating and annoying. It was just a little bit like, I don't want to say blah or boring. There just wasn't enough action. There wasn't as much action as I would have liked. So I would honestly recommend it. I think it's a great book. If you can get through it, maybe read the audiobook or get the audiobook version if you can. That might be a little bit more helpful. Anyway, overall, you guys, I'm glad that I did this challenge. I do feel bad though because I feel like I didn't love any of the books that I read. Like they weren't 4 or 5 star books for me, unfortunately, which is kind of disappointing in a way. However, I do want to continue to keep on trying to read books that Rory Gilmore reads because, again, like she just kind of reads a lot of what seem to be like classics and good books that everyone talks about. So I will probably continue to try to look for books that Rory Gilmore reads, but I have a ton of other books that I want to get reading for the fall and Halloween season. So we'll kind of focus on those ones for now. I'm not in any big hurry to go back to the Rory reading list. Anyway, if you guys have made it this far in this video, I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next one very soon. Bye!